Hi, what's going on guys? It's Almond. Welcome back to another Wizard101 video. In today's video, it's going to be a complete in-depth guide to farm Arc 1 Spellements. Now, I'll be honest, I've already recorded this video, but I'm completely redoing the video because I feel like it wasn't justified and I wanted to do more explaining, so I thought I'd just re-record this entire video just for you guys. But anywho, this whole video is just going to be talking about how to farm rank 1 Spellements all the way till rank 6, because those are all the spells that fit into that category of Arc 1. On screen you should see what spells are considered Arc 1 if you still are confused, but these are the spells I'm going to be talking about in this video. So if you do enjoy this type of content, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all type of stuff. Join Discord if you guys haven't. Appreciate all the people that have been joining Discord, and I appreciate every single one of you guys that comment on the video or even leaving a like. It helps out with the algorithm tremendously, so I appreciate you guys quite a lot. You can farm Arc 1 Spellements from various bosses. You can farm people in Wizard City all the way till Dragonspire, but I'm gonna give you guys all the best variations of how to farm the Spellements. So let's start off with the rank 1 through 5 Spellements. What you want to do is you want to go all the way to the Jade Palace and grab yourself a Scales of Knowledge elixir. Now this mechanic was introduced at one point and it made it a lot more easier farming Spellements. Basically, if you grab this elixir, it'll scale down your stats to level 40 and you gain the ability to farm Spellements. Now, if you're already a person questing in Mushu per se, you already are going to get Spellements from these bosses, but in my opinion, you shouldn't be worrying about Spellements if you're a low level, unless you're doing some type of PvP stuff or some type of video or strategy that you're going for. I honestly would wait to farm Spellements till later on, till you're past Arc 1. Hence why you want to go to the Jade Palace and grab yourself the Scales of Knowledge elixir so you can scale down your stats to 40, and any portion I talk about in this portion of the video, you will gain Spellements from these bosses. Keep in mind this elixir only lasts for 2 hours, so after 2 hours just grab the elixir. You can spam it as much as you want, there's no cooldown or anything like that, so you can just grab this elixir as much as you want. Now keep in mind the elixirs don't stack, so you can only have one elixir at a time. Now you have the elixir equipped, who should you farm? So first let's talk about the spirit schools as well as balance. I would recommend that you farm Jade Oni or Oyotomi the Defiler. Now this is just up to you and personal preference. They both have their own cons and their own little niches. They both will give you the same rate of Spellements. It's just up to you. It's realistically personal preference. Now Jade Oni is in the same dungeon as the elixir, so if you ever run out of the elixir, you can just go back down, grab the elixir, and then go back to continue farming Jade Oni. But Jade Oni does have 6k HP, so that's one other thing you have to keep in mind. But it's easy to respawn, so that's like another pro. Now Oyotomi is a little bit further away in the village of Sorrow, but it has way less HP, like around like 1 to 2k, and this boss is pretty easy to spawn to. You can just keep going back and forth into the little pathway and you'll respawn Oyotomi over and over. But like I said, this is up to you. You pick who you want to farm. I did a Jade Oni, but for like the newer players, Oyotomi would just be generally better. And keep in mind, these bosses will drop you the spells ranked through 1 through 5 for life, death, myth, and balance. So if you're trying to farm the elemental schools, do not farm these bosses. You're only farming these bosses for the spirit schools, as I stated. Now, who do you farm if you're trying to farm the elemental spells for rank 1 through 5? You specifically want to go to Hametsu village and fight Daga. Daga will literally be your goat for farming Spellements rank 1 through 5 for fire, ice, storm, and balance. Literally just go there and just keep going inside the dungeon, out, kill them, go back, instant repeat over and over. Now that we got rank 1 through 5 out the way, what do you do if you need rank 6 Spellements? Well, you do the same thing. You grab the Scales of Knowledge in specifically Dragonspire. Now the Dragonspire Scales of Knowledge is different than the Mushu one and it's different than all the other worlds. So you need the specific one from Dragonspire to be able to get Spellements from the bosses in Dragonspire. And if you are questing in Dragonspire, you can farm these bosses at the same time for Spellements. But once you get to Celestia, you won't be able to farm these bosses anymore. You have to grab the elixir every time. And this Scales of Knowledge is in the final dungeon of Dragonspire, so the Great Spire. Grab the elixir and make sure it's equipped and everything like that, and you're kind of good to go. And remember, you're only going to get Spellements if you have this elixir equipped or if you're questing in Dragonspire. That's like the basic premise to explain it. Now, who should you farm when you have this elixir equipped? Let's talk about the elemental schools first. So you have the option, you can either farm Sea Lord in the Plaza of Conquest, or you can farm Boris Blackrock in the Crucible. Now this is just like I said earlier, it is up to you. Now Sea Lord does have 6.4k HP, but if you are using mid spells, you can boost on him. Boris Blackrock has 5.6k, but fire does boost on him, and the only niche thing is he does have tower shields and weaknesses if you, for some reason, you don't kill. So realistically up to you. I personally farm Sea Lord, but like I said, it's realistically up to you. You just have to make sure you have the elixir equipped. Now keep in mind, both of these bosses do only drop fire, ice, storm, and balance Spellements. So if you are trying to go for those, specifically farm either one of those bosses. Now what do you do if you're trying to get the spirit schools? What you do is once you have the elixir, you want to go all the way to the Grand Chasm and look for the dungeon that's called Vault 1933, I believe. In that dungeon, you should see a Dragonspire commander, best way to explain it. His name's Ashweaver, and he will drop you the Spellements for life, death, myth, and balance. He's the very notable one that everyone farms and very easy to do, and it's only a boss and there's no minions. So I recommend that you farm this one for your spirit spells as well as balance. And that's basically the premise of how I farmed my Spellements. Now there's plenty of honorable mentions, so we're going to go over that. So if you don't want to do anything that I just mentioned, there's plenty of honorable mentions that we're going to be talking about. One main honorable mention I want to talk about that is another boss that you can farm is Zarathax. Now, like I said, this isn't someone I would recommend because from my experience, yes, Zarathax does drop you every single school, but it's a bigger drop pool, and at the same time, he does drop you more balanced Spellements from my testing than Elemental and Spirit. So Zarathax is good if you're farming like the missing balance spells, in my opinion, but I wouldn't go out and farm Zarathax. Some people like farming him, but it's not something I would recommend, but it's an option, right? It's an honorable mention for that fact that it does drop every single school Spellement, rank 2 through 6. So if you're missing that rank 1s, you have to go out and go farm them. But still, it's an honorable mention I do want to include in this video. He's located in the Tower Archives. He's like the final boss there. You have to go all the way towards the end and take the portal and you can go fight Zarathax. Another honorable mention is by doing cantrip chests. From my experience, I haven't been able to find cantrip chests that give you rank 1s and 2 Spellements, but if you want rank 3s through 6, you can go out and go to Krakatopia, Marleybone, Mushu, and Dragonspire corresponding to the world. Now, how cantrip chests work is you need to have Magic Touch unlocked. It's like a quest that you have to do. It's in Wizard City. Talk to the person, I think it's Abner K-Doodle, talking about cantrips. Do that whole quest line and you unlock Magic Touch literally for free. But keep in mind with Magic Touch, it does cost you 5 energy per cast, even if you miss. So if you, for some reason, you miss the chest and you hit like the wall or something like that, congrats, you just wasted 5 energy. And another thing is with the cantrip chest, it does require 2 other people. So with you and 2 other people, that's 3 people in total that are required to open these chests. Now keep in mind, these chests will only give you Spellements corresponding to that world. They won't give you previous worlds. So for example, Krakatopia, you should go to Selenopolis, aka the Hall, or you can go to Halls of Torah. In my opinion, those are better since those are newer areas, but those will give you rank 3 Spellements. You can go to Marleybone, Chelsea Court, or Knight's Court, depending on your POV, whatever you feel like. That just depends. I've heard like a mixed reviews about those, so go there and you'll get some rank 4 Spellements. In Mushu, you can go to the Cave of Solitude, literally right next to the key boss. There's like 2 spawns that you can go back and forth between, and you can get some Spellements from there. And lastly, there's Dragonspire. There's various spots in Dragonspire, but from my testing and from what people have been telling me, Crucible has been the spot for them. Like I said, this is an honorable mention because the fact is it costs energy and it requires you to have more people with you. And keep in mind, with the cantrip chest, you do not need an elixir. Like you can have like a max level person just TP and just cantrip the chest and you'll still get your Spellements. So there is no elixir that's tied to this, so you don't need to have that equipped. You can cantrip at any point in time. Now another honorable mention is doing boss rematches. It's optional, but in my opinion, doing the bosses that I stated in this video are way more efficient. But if you are farming the gear from here, which like I said, it will only fits a specific niche of people, then sure, you can farm these boss rematches and they will give you Spellements. Basic premise of how boss rematches work is you craft a boss rematch corresponding to the world, so Nightshade, Krakatopia, Meowyardi, Jadeoni, and Malister, because those are the final bosses of those worlds, right? Now, each of these bosses drop their own set of Spellements, and on top of that, you got to keep in mind is they all do have various cheats. It's essentially just a one-shot dungeon where you can just go in there, fight them, and then it turns into a trophy, and then you turn that trophy back to Raquel, and it cuts the cost in half, and you can just kind of just keep recharging it and doing it over and over. If that's something that you want to do, go for it, but like I said, it's an optional, it's an honorable mention for that specific reason, so it's realistically up to you. Now another honorable mention, which a lot of people do use, which is the Retriever Talents. Now these Retriever Talents, if you are a new player, they're going to be annoying to get because if you haven't been making pets or anything like that, you might not have myth tokens or fire tokens or elemental retriever or spiritual retriever. So hence why it's an honorable mention, but I'm still including it in the video because a lot of people do use these to get their Spellements. How it works is if you have a pet that has these talents, is you just literally click the little icon on your pet and it'll run your chest and it'll get you some Spellements. And there is a 300-second cooldown on this, so another thing is just it's realistically up to you. But it's still honorable mention and it's worth including in this video for that specific reason. Another honorable mention is doing the Voracious Void Raid. Now, it's literally an honorable mention because there's nothing good from the Void Raid anymore other than the pets. So if you already have the pets, that's the only reason you're doing the raid, and there's no reason to do the raid if you already have the pets, in my opinion. But it's still worth including because the fact is all the bosses in there that are notable, not including like the secret bosses, but like the notable bosses, they will give you Spellements. If you don't know how raids work, there's plenty of videos on YouTube, and even I have like talked about me doing a raid in one of my videos. So there's that, but Voracious or Void Raid is still somewhat okay to do, but it's up to you as a player if you still want to do it. And keep in mind, raids require 12 other people. If you're including yourself, then 11 people, but still, it requires a lot of people and they actually have to dedicate their time in farming this. And people aren't doing the raids specifically for Spellements, they're doing it for other reasons, aka pets or specific niches. So that's why it's an honorable mention. Another honorable mention is just doing side quests. Yeah, so if you've already finished a world or anything like that, you want to go back and do side quests, those side quests will give you Spellements. Now, it's only going to be a little bit of Spellements, so don't think like you're going to get quite a lot, but it's still worth doing the side quests. And at the same time, once you finish all your side quests in that world, you do get a gold key, so there's some pluses to this. So if that's something you want to do, hey, there's that. But I do want to include it because you do get potential Spellements from it, so that's a thing. Another one of the best honorable mentions in my opinion, but because Peril at the time of recording this is still broken, is literally Peril. Yes, Peril was one of the best ways of getting Spellements, but I wouldn't particularly use them on the Arc Spellements. That's just my opinion. If you're struggling with Arc Spellements, do the other methods, especially the main method of this video. That is way better, and you can use these coins on getting a vet Spellements because those are more annoying to get in my opinion. But the basic premise is whenever Peril comes back, it's just like a dungeon that you run. You can run it with anybody. They don't even need membership. And on completion, you get these coins, which are just reagents. And you can redeem those coins for like Spellements, etc. Like so many other things. But the main two things that you're going to be using those coins on, I guess for the purpose of this video, which is the 2 random Spellements, which cost 1 fortune coin. Or the one that's where it's like you want 1 Spellament for your specific school, but that costs 4 coins. I wouldn't recommend doing that unless like you have max Spellements on all the other schools, then yeah. But I would just spam the one that gives you 2 random Spellements through Arc 1 if you really are trying to get Spellements. But like I said, it's an honorable mention. Event Spellements is what you should be buying from here in my opinion. But hey, it's still an honorable mention because it was a really good source from farming Spellements. And then lastly, yes, I had to include this for the pay-to-win people. If for some reason you want to do this, you can open Malice or Saga Spellament packs. I know, it costs crowns, but hey, if for some reason you don't want to do anything else in this video, right, you can do this. I'm not going to say I haven't done it, but I have opened Malice or Saga Spellament packs at one point because I was very lazy to farm Spellements. But how they've changed the system drastically, everything else in this video I mentioned is just way better. So don't even spend money on the Malice or Saga Spellament pack. Unless for some reason you're an oiler, then sure, you can use some of your money or leftover crowns on the pack. But like I said, it's really not worth it. Don't recommend, only including it for the purpose of this video. And there's that. There's the Arc 1 Spellament guide that some of you guys kept on messaging me about. I will make literally the exact same video for the Arc 2 Spellament guide and add some more stuff as well. So if you did enjoy this video and you want to see all the slides and everything like that, like I said, everything's in the Discord. This will be posted in the Discord as well. So if you are a visual learner just like me, you can literally look at these slides at your own time, and yeah. But make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe on the channel and everything like that. Leave a comment saying thank you or something like that if you guys did enjoy this, because some of these videos do take a little bit longer because I want to be more precise and I want to make the guides look a little bit more nicer, because that's just something I like doing, right? It's just a personal preference, but hopefully you enjoyed the video, and that's it. So I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys, and hopefully by the time I upload this video we reach 5K. If not, subscribe. You should be subscribed regardless, but you know.